Sorry, sweetie.
Trying to announce your business. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Well, we are discussing voters. It's okay if I talk to you right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About the Utah Cannabis Act.
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware that what you signed was not for marijuana, just for cannabis?
Yes.
You are. Okay. You knew that when you signed it?
Yes.
Okay. And they explained that to you or went through that with you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I had to think of the day I signed it. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know all that. We just want to make sure that we know, because once the state or the medical association gave the state their rough draft and what they would like to see done, which is us, they changed a lot of that. The state did. And so a lot of things are, I don't know how to say it, a form maybe of entrapment in a lot of ways, by it being passed. Whereas, like most people that I know, all of us know people that have cancer or sick, by making medical cannabis legal, it means that any type of smoking, anything, is a big deal. It's a felony. Where currently it's not, if that makes sense.
It doesn't really.
Okay. So, the state went over and changed some things where...
After I signed? Or before?
After the bill was done by the medical association. Okay? After we went over, this is what we want done, this is what we want in there. We don't want any restrictions. If the physician recommends it, if it gives them a prescription, we want this to be available to people. The state went back and said that we want control over this. Not that it's going to be taxed, not that type of control. But the only place that people can get a medical prescription recommendation card, if it passes, is the Utah State Health Department. Where currently, without this being passed, you can get a recommendation from your personal physician, whatever it is, and you can't be prosecuted for it.
Currently in Utah, you can't get a recommendation from anybody.
You can get a recommendation, you can.
Who's going to give you a recommendation if you can't fill a prescription or go any further with it? Who does that?
But the thing is as patients, we aren't going to put limits on them. So if this passes, the only thing that they can't write anything. You have to go to the state. And at that point, the only thing that you can get is something with CBD cream, something like that. Which technically is already legal. So this prevents...
CBD cream's legal in Utah?
They're not supposed to, because there's no FDA, nothing that can prove. So, for instance, my aunt, she got stopped for speeding. She got a speeding ticket. And in the bottom, because I didn't believe her, was typed a warning. Because she had a little thing of that she got it somewhere in Washington, grocers or natural thing in Washington. She got a warning for that. And I said, what do you mean? It's with Utah Medical Association. People can possess that. She said it was a warning. And so it's supposed to be, he wrote it, people are back and forth on it. I mean, but it is legal to have cream with CBD in it.
Utah allows CBD oil in creams?
I'm not going to go as far as to say the oil.
So what would,
but something that you buy from a store that has an advertised label that says CBD cream on it, most likely there's very little in it. If you get stopped with something and it doesn't have a label on it and you're like, it's CBD oil, most likely you're going to get in trouble for it right now. Does that make sense?
No, actually, there's not a whole lot of what you said that really does make any sense.
All right,
it seems like
totally
the information. Well, no, I was.
Made it worse.
I was very, very clear on what I signed.
Okay.
I was very clear when I answered your question that I was aware of what I signed.
Okay.
I answered that twice, I believe. The questions that I've had, I only honestly ask them, simply because it seems like what I'm being told is very scattered statements and comments.
From me?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
So what I would suggest,
And
what I'll do
I'm
is
almost done.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I do know this. I signed what I signed, and I won't go back on it.
Okay, so why don't I just give you this and you can look into it? That would be the best thing, is to read the law.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you save the taxpayers and the voters a dime and hold on to your papers? And if I want to sign something else later on, I'm sure I can find somebody willing to let me sign a different petition.
Okay.
I appreciate your time.
Sure.
I'd just like to know how you got my address.
Okay, we're with the Utah Medical Association.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I signed a petition, and you came here knowing that I signed a petition.
And we're the ones that wrote the bill, and so what you signed was a bill that we wrote. Okay, and so you put your address on there.
And I signed that. It's been about 3 weeks ago that I signed that.
That's where we got your address.
So from the time that you folks had that petition out and that I signed it, within the last 3 weeks, the folks that created that bill turned right around and...
Yes. No, actually not since you signed it. Wait a minute.
Let's see if I've got any of this straight. Okay, so they changed it before I signed it, and yet the petition still went out with the original information.
Right, because they had the right to do that as a state.
Okay, so why did we sign the petition if it wasn't the petition? It just almost seems like the petition would be null and void.
There's different things here. I mean, I went to medical school in North Carolina, so and I'm volunteering my time for this.
Because totally understand.
It was something that this state allows their legislature, without going through the legislature, to change things that have been proposed by the Utah Medical Association.
But something's amiss here, because if it was written one way and then it was issued to folks to set up their booths for the public to sign.
It was done illegally. If they did that.
The booths were done illegally?
Correct. That's correct.
So the paper that I signed was an illegal paper?
Probably not.
But you just said they did it illegally.
Most likely they did. That's why we're out and about. We're with the Utah Medical Association and the county clerk, because what people have been told is that it is a marijuana act, and it's not. That's the number one thing.
I don't know. I think
it's a Utah Medical Cannabis Act.
And here I'm even more confused than before I asked the question. Information was put for us to be petitioned to and signed based off the information that was presented.
Okay.
You're saying that the information that was presented was the original information prior to it being presented to me.
No, I don't know, because I wasn't there.
But you did just say that just about a minute and a half ago.
But that's what we're being told by the county clerk.
But you're not really sure.
The bill that we've seen is not the bill that we wrote.
Okay, but you're not really sure of the information that you've just told me, but...
No, I'm not sure information of what you think that I said was wrong.
Okay.
Okay? We're being told that the people that had the petition that I show that you signed is called a marijuana bill. There's no such thing that's going to be on the ballot for a marijuana bill. There's a big difference in marijuana and cannabis.
But I told you I didn't sign a marijuana bill. I was aware it was a cannabis bill.
Okay, well, the paper that I have that you signed, where you signed your name, your address, that type of thing, you put your age, your date of birth, did say marijuana on it. So
it was presented as cannabis.
Okay. Well, and it on the paper, like, there was things at the bottom. It specifically says up there marijuana.
I had a folded over paper that I signed my name and my address to, and I was pitched to as cannabis.
Oh, and you kept the paper?
No.
Okay.
It was on a clipboard just like that.
Okay. All right. Well, it like I said, we're doing our job and just making sure you understand that.
I don't understand anything about it anymore, but I appreciate your time.
Sure.
It is food for thought.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So you actually got my address off of a petition.
Correct. Because the people that we're doing this, people do things for money, I mean, everybody needs to work. Once this was the signatures, like any petition, whether it was a Medicaid petition, an education petition, any type of petition, these have to be verified through the county clerk. That right there alone, where it says marijuana, that was on that sheet was that thing alone, not to mention anything else I've said, was a misrepresentation of the bill as the Utah Medical Association.
Now, this same gentleman was also representing the gerrymandering, which I believe you were pushing for petitions,
Me?
Signatures at the library about a month and a half ago on a gerrymandering petition.
A what petition?
Gerrymandering.
I haven't signed
So boundaries
anything.
can't be
This isn't a
moved.
petition here.
I understand that. That's not what I said. I'm telling you, the gentleman who had the petition
Right.
for cannabis.
I haven't
Also-
done any type of petitioning
Okay,
at all.
I'll try this again. The gentleman that had the cannabis petition
Right.
also had a petition for gerrymandering
Right.
in Washington County
Right.
to prevent gerrymandering.
Okay.
And I believed it was
They had
the
two?
He had two petitions. Yes, he did. And I believe it was the same gerrymandering petition that I believe it was you at the Santa Clara Library about a month and a half ago, pushing for signatures.
Where's Santa Clara? I don't even know there's a Santa Clara library.
Okay.
This is not Santa Clara, correct?
No, you're right
Okay.
on the line. You're
Okay.
just
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got a show to get to. Thank you so much
You
for
bet.
the information.
You bet.
Definitely something I can look into further.
Yes.
You have a good day.
All right, you too.